One of the questions I want to ask you too.
Yeah.
I mean, being a CEO, thinking big picture, the macroeconomics of just what all is happening. When you start to look at commercial real estate as a whole, what type of predictions do you see? I mean, what's the future hold in your mind?
Right, so I'll separate it for you. Because the one commercial place I look at a lot is warehousing. Right? So,
Right. Sorry, office space.
Right.
Let's focus in on office space.
Yeah, because warehousing, that's a whole different story, right? Office space, I look at it like this. Like you've got comers and goers, right? So you're going to have folks who are global companies. They're used to this. They're going to shed real estate. And they're going to move to primary work from home for a lot of these remote locations, right? And I get that. That makes sense. So I don't think you're looking at a world where everybody's coming back.
Yeah.
Like people talk about Atlanta traffic. I don't know that we're going to see what we saw pre-COVID. I hope not.
Which wouldn't be bad.
Right.
There are some benefits that
100%.
that we've seen through this.
So I think, you're going to see people that are like 2-3 days a week in the office, 2 to 3 days at home. I'm sure Friday's going to be a huge work from home day. Right? Like people are signing up. I'm the Tuesday, Thursday guy in the office, right? On Monday, Friday, I'm the work from home guy.
Yeah.
But when I look at the real estate market, I think it's an opportunity to be advantageous, right? Yeah. So as you're growing, as you're expanding, I think the other thing that you have is an opportunity to do some interesting things with your space.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think a lot of those perks that used to really resonate don't resonate as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because not everyone can participate in it. So, like, having on-site catering, well, that's great for the people who come in, but not so great for the people who are home. Right?
That's right, yeah.
So I think it gives you an opportunity to do some really flexible, creative things with your space as you think about it. But I think being opportunistic over the next 3 years is going to be the key to getting in great space.
Yeah.
That might be punching above the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you were. I mean, you worked with us. We were content where we were.
Yeah.
I mean, the story is we were, hours away from signing a lease somewhere else?
Somewhere else, that's right.
And this thing became available, and it was just an easy decision to make.
Yeah.
And we're opportunistic, and you got to be able to sign a lease and say, hey, I'm going to be in business for 2 years, and I'll take that commitment, versus I want to sign a 6-month thing because I don't know. So I think if you can be opportunistic and advantageous, this market's going to be really rich for you over the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I was talking to a good friend of mine, a CEO of a tech company, and we were talking about real estate and thinking about different ideas. Mm-hmm. And he had a really interesting one, and it made me pause and I thought about it, but he's like, you remember that building 1 Midtown Kitchen? And I'm like, yeah, off Dutch Valley. He's like, yeah, the 1 Midtown Kitchen. And I'm like, yeah, he goes, that's closed. It's just sitting there. It's like 7,000 square feet. He's like, right. The way I see space going forward is a really awesome cafe or restaurant that you want to hang out in and work and collaborate and do what you want to do, because 3 days a week or 2 days a week your head's down working, and then the 2 days you come in it's all about connection. Well, what's better to connect than a restaurant?
Right.
And so taking that space but using it as a corporate space, mm-hmm. and leaving a lot of the functions that are in there. I mean, those are the type of ideas that I get excited about, and I think are really cool when you start to think forward, what does it look like?
Oh yeah, we got 4 of our partners, like consulting partners, recruiting partners, contractors, that typically right now might be in a WeWork, or they'd be in they're working in Atlanta, they're not headquartered, so they go take a commercial working space where we work. Yeah. We have them here.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you taking a commercial space? Like, why are you going to do that when, like, here, you can office here.
Yeah.
And finding those creative ways to bring them in, and then you've got opportunities to as we come off of COVID, using these spaces for entertaining in the evenings, and you can just do the right things with it and make it work for you.
And make it work right and really push the culture.
100%.
Yeah. One bonus question, and we kind of talked about it. I love Bill Gates came out and had 7 predictions of post-COVID world, and
right.
They were really fascinating, and the office was mentioned. What's one prediction you can think of post-COVID world? What do you see?
Yeah, it's great. I would just listen to Bill Gates. He's more successful. I mean, whatever he said, right? Like, he's a lot more successful. So, like, I would just follow that. So I think it's funny. Like, if I could predict the future, I wouldn't be talking to you. I would just go bet a bunch of horse races.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
And
That's
I'd be
right.
done with it. I think if I was to think, when I think about it, and I think about our business, and I think about where we're mm-hmm. making bets and where we're making investments, like, we're not going backwards. Right. We've accelerated this pace, so the folks that are sitting around talking about when we go back to this and we go back to that, we're not going back to that. Right? Things have changed. Like, we're not going back to outdoor, like, outhouses. Like, we're not going backwards, right? An older generation that started shopping online, they've become accustomed to it. Like, we're not going backwards.
Yeah.
So people working from home, they're going to still work from home, maybe just not every day. So we're not going to go backwards. So how do you adjust and pivot your business without thinking about that how do we go back? Because we're moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Society never goes back. So when I think about it, I think about one, that reality is you can recruit talent anywhere.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's opened up, like, companies have learned how to manage remote employees.
They have.
Right?
Yeah.
Younger companies who ultimately would have gotten there as they went global, learned early.
Yeah.
Like our company, we're headquartered here. Our guys weren't managing people remote. We're managing people in front of them.
Right in front of them.
Well,
Right.
guess what? For the last 7 months, they've been managing people remote. And now we got employees that are in Texas and California and Wisconsin, because it doesn't matter where
The
they're.
talent pool gets bigger.
You can recruit from a larger
Yeah.
talent pool. So
Yeah.
you should be able to recruit from a broader talent pool and really focus on the talent versus focusing on the location.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to open up opportunities for companies to find better talent. But I also think for individuals, it's going to make it available for people, like humans,
Yeah.
to be able to target and work for the companies they want to work for.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think it comes down to, are you an employer of choice?
Interesting.
If you can become an employer of choice, right, then you can recruit globally, you can retain, and when people are looking, because if you're in Wisconsin now and you're top of your game, you could apply for a job here at Ware2Go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to us where you are.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't the case a year and a half ago. So that's accelerated for us, and I think that's going to accelerate for everybody. It'll be beneficial for both sides. So the key is you got to be an employer of choice. That's more critical than it was before.
Yeah. I'm part of a group called Venture, and it's 24 CEOs, and we get together once a month, and then we have individual meeting with the coach. And the coach, John Ritchie, said something to me that really stuck, and it's, to what you're saying. He said, everyone keeps talking about going back to the normal that we knew.
Right.
When are we going to go back to normal? When are we going to go back to normal? And his point was, we've been doing this for 9 months. This is the new normal.
Right.
Until something changes again, vaccine or whatever, this is the new normal. So quit trying to plan for your business of, I just want to go back to normal, because that doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist.
It just doesn't.
This is it, and we're going forward.
And then we're going forward.
No one's going backwards.
Yeah. So. Well, Steve, thank you, man.
Thank
This
you.
was fun.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for helping us find the space. You guys were amazing.
Thank you.
This space is amazing, and we couldn't be more happy to be here.
Yeah, and it is a true story. It was about a day away, 2 hours away from signing a lease, and I just happened to see this space and said, hey, guys, you may want to look at this.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, we pumped the brakes on that real quick. Came over here and was like, it's a buyer's market because we did some mistakes. Like, it's not probably smart when I come in here and I'm asking, okay, how do we get this done? Right? Like, I could have negotiated a better deal. But it was a buyer's market. But nah, fantastic. Your team was great. Thanks so much for everything you do. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.